Hey, I'm Val and I like to do stupid challenges, so I beat Batman Arkham Asylum without running. Yes, this includes the Killer Croc chase sequence. On top of this, I decided to add 2 more rules, no dodging or countering, because why not make it worse? So only punching in combat. Oh yeah, and Batman's in a wheelchair. I just thought it would be fitting for all the limitations in place. The first encounter, just like any other Arkham Asylum playthrough, is really easy. And with Batman only serving punches today, all the thugs get a classic, wheelchair sandwich to the face. Yeah, that was interesting, but now we gotta slowly, I guess drive, our way through the asylum. Sure hope there isn't any sort of emergency at hand where they would need Batman to save people. I mean, I know Batman has some crazy upper body strength, but flipping with a wheelchair is absolute insanity. Like, look at this. How? Then he just rides off like nothing even happened. And then we encounter our first major challenge, stairs. That was dumb, he can just go up them normally. Thankfully the gargoyles are just narrow enough to snugly fit Batman's wheelchair on it, and give Zaz what will probably be permanent damage to his whole body.
Oh, I got him! Yeah!
And this is when I find out that Batman has telepathy, being able to rip a vent off his wall with his mind. As well as do whatever this is. And this is when I learned he has even more psychic powers where he can launch batarangs with ease from the side of his head. Is he Professor X? Another vent later and Batman decides to actually save the cops for once, using his mind to raise them up to safely.
Let me help you.
Stay here.
I'm here for you.
Oh, and about that upper body strength again. How does he jump up the wheelchair? Oh, never mind, he missed. But hey, it spawned him here, so it's fine. And then he destroyed a goon's brain from the inside, being too brutal to display on TV, and one more mind-derang allowing us to continue this challenge. The next encounter, well, you already know. But up next was just a taste of what's to come. Titans. With their fast charging and wide range attacks, this is by far the biggest threat to Batman given his current limitations.
Wait.
But thankfully, after just a few minutes of being bashed around, Batman was able to use his mind powers to put this Titan to permanent rest.
Okay, let me try that again. You know what? Just die already. It worked! I used my mind powers. I gave him a heart attack. Yeah!
And then he did donuts on him. And as is tradition,
Yeah!
and then we have one long little venture deeper into the asylum until we come across 2 thugs which we use minderangs on to defeat. We roll our way to get a sip of Ball's flask before following his trail all the way to the elevator. Holy crap guys, it's a miracle! His legs are back and, where is his head? I guess he had to return the wheelchair back to Barbara, and his cape is gone too. Does this just make him man, or headless man? I have no idea, but our capeless crusader must continue. Getting up the elevator was just like any other playthrough, and the encounter upstairs was also super simple. Now he can actually rip vents off the walls without his mind. Maybe he can't use telepathy without his head? This room he decides to skip, only going for a thug at the end. And the Predator section itself was also really easy. I stream all my challenges before turning them into YouTube videos, so you can find either the VOD on Twitch, go follow me there, I'm close to being monetized, or on YouTube here. Feel free to stop by and say hi whenever you see I'm live. The first part of the Predator section was a breeze, well except for the fact that Batman didn't feel like a breeze due to how slow he was moving, and the second half was even easier other than the fact that he didn't use stealth at the very end. And the waiting and doing the mandatory Riddler puzzle was just as boring as ever. and then we proceed to walk very, very slowly all the way to the Batmobile, while also taking out the 2 gunners. And the Batmobile fight itself was also a breeze. Yes, I know you probably want me to get to the Killer Croc part. I'm trying to get through the game as quickly as possible without skipping over stuff. With explosive gel acquired, I don't even bother to look for Gordon and just continue our long, long journey. I tactically jump into the water here to spawn me atop the hospital to gain instant access, and once inside, it goes like any other playthrough up until the Predator section. Once again, being the pro gamer I am, why did I say that? That was so dumb. I do this Predator section on my first try with little to no issues from the lack of mobility, and then stun lock the last thug with batarangs to take him out. When I return to the doctor, I have no idea what she's had to have seen to the point to where talking to a headless man gets absolutely no reaction out of her. After this, I make my way to save the first of 3 doctors, the second of 3 doctors. Yes, I know it's super sped up, but I mean it's the fastest way I could show you. And now the final doctor. Only taking around 8 minutes to complete compared to what a regular playthrough would be, I'd guess less than 5 minutes. After this, I immediately return to the main doctors and skip the Predator section by just going to the elevator. And not sure how the Scarecrow toxin worked on him. He has no head, and if you look inside, no lungs or anything either. And while Gordon was too busy dying, my stupid self thought reloading the game would put him back in a wheelchair, but to no one's surprise, it didn't. So we watched Gordon die for a second time just for kicks and giggles. After a short venting session, we can confirm that Gordon is in fact not alive. First our legs get healed, and now this. Could this day get any worse? Oh, and now we're hallucinating our dead parents. Maybe this day could have gotten worse. Even the 3rd evil parent that had a botched plastic surgery now has to wear a bag over their head is here. And now we've been sent to New York if it was epic. That doesn't even make sense, but I'm going to go with it. New York was actually pretty simple to travel through. Oh, wait, there's more. While I did make it through on my first attempt, that doesn't mean I didn't mess up. I in fact just fell a few times in the exact same spot for some reason. But New York proved to be an easy city to navigate for the most part, and after flashing the boogeyman floating in the middle, we returned to home sweet home, the asylum. A short trek to the next encounter, which was a cakewalk, as I was able to blow them up and take them out easily, though not by ground takedowns because that was too easy. I then walked my way all the way up and through the Gordon Predator section, and never mind, I got caught. Second attempt, I was able to successfully walk my way past all of the guards and save Gordon, but at the cost of having to fight Bane next. It's another miracle! Batman's head has returned somehow. But now it's not the time for celebration, as the Bane fight was as annoying as you could imagine for someone who can't run or dodge. While you can dodge his charges with enough space, that doesn't mean it's easy. While only taking 4 attempts, each of them ended at the very last phase of the fight due to how many charges I had to face tank, as well as the thugs joining in to add more pressure. And let me remind you, I cannot counter them or dodge over their heads because I hate having fun. Oh yeah, and rocks. But after all this suffering, Batman was able to finally get a successful run, but not without its flaws. While I don't think I needed to use the crouch walk here, as I only wanted to save it to when I deemed absolutely necessary, it is not running, so I deemed it good to use. I also tried to use the crouch walk to dodge this piece of wall he throws, but well, it didn't work. And then I was an idiot and tried to get a few hits on Bane, and then my health was flashing red, so I had to tactically use a crouch walk to make retreat. And then face tank another charge without even throwing a batarang, and after a few more hits from thugs, I chose to tactically use a health booster to give myself a fighting chance. And then, yeah, I'm surprised that this was the run I actually won. One more dodge and he's in the 3rd phase for the 4th time. I tried to tactically punch the thugs to enter free flow in an attempt to get the momentum to dodge any rocks, but as you can see, that didn't work either, but it was effective on taking out thugs. nor did it work on dodging Bane himself, but who cares? Well, I do because my health was going down rapidly. But after one last face tank charge, this thug thought he could stop me, but his efforts were futile, resulting in the end of Bane. Back outside, after a short walk, I finally found where the cape went. Not sure why it decided to morph into an all-consuming void that follows me everywhere, but sure, why not? Now we can sacrifice thugs to it. Then I proceed to walk to the completely wrong area, trying to enter Arkham Mansion early without even unlocking the Batclaw like an idiot, and then walk my way all the way back to the Batcave to actually unlock the gadget I need. Then I spend too long inside the sewers trying to get back outside, the group of thugs being nothing to note, and I know you guys just want to see Killer Croc. I'm trying to cut through stuff as quickly as possible. Back outside, Batman did a tiny glide and for some reason I restarted, not sure why. There were no rules for or against gliding in this challenge, but after the reset, I continued to just walk normally, very normally, and totally not die to snipers. The next attempt I made sure to grapple up to take out the first sniper, drop down, and then take out the second, making sure to not die. Take on this group fight easily and make my way to the real sniper section of the game, which proved to be more challenging when it came to the two on the roof of Arkham Mansion. I take out the first two snipers without much issue, as you can just grapple up and take them out, and jump down. However, the big issue arises with the two on the roof, as their field of vision is much greater, and then, in an attempt to survive...
It's over. Never mind, it's not over. Sorry, that was funny.
Second attempt, I do the exact same on the first two snipers, and then this time I wait patiently for the right time to move. Just kidding, I nearly died again and pulled out a tactical crouch to save my life. Believe it or not, this was the run. After grappling up, I batarang the further one, take out the one near me, and then batarang them again to keep them from killing me. Inside, I use a batarang on the gun thug before beating the lights out of these thugs, and then I choose to go straight for the Predator section, skipping the library fight for now. This Predator section took just as many attempts as Bane. I kept getting really unlucky. I'm just going to speed it up, it's nothing cool or special, and then talk to Cash.
You're welcome.
And then continue our journey to try to recover the cure from the doctor and make our way back to the big fight. Okay, so this fight lasted less than a minute. I seriously thought it would be harder or longer due to not being able to dodge or counter, but hey, it was super easy. And, well, Batman was super excited to open this door. He couldn't help but jump with joy. I literally have no other explanation on why he did that. It was just a door. Let's just collectively agree that that didn't happen. It was during the most boring moment after all. Then after two more fights and saving the cops, we hallucinate dead parents and make our way to our second Scarecrow section of the game. This one only took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tries to do. Yeah, this was more difficult than expected, but in the end, I only had to use a crouch walk at the box section in the beginning, but after this, it was just a short walk till the end.
Blink. I can't see, because there's lights. Wait.
We dive bomb out of the tower and continue our way to Zaz, easily taking him out, and do this fight. Well, crap, I countered. So I restart and do the whole fight again. Then I walk my way to and through the psychiatric building, all the way to Mr. Sharp, and once again, steal his phone. We escape and I take out the Harley Quinn thug fight without any issues whatsoever, going as well as any other playthrough, and then... yeah, it didn't even cross my mind that I just pressed the counter button until a good couple seconds later when I did it again and I was like, oh crap. You see how long it took me to realize, So I restart and do the whole thug fight again, and this time make sure to not counter the lunatics. And after that I make sure I do the rest of the lunatics without countering, and slowly continue our journey through the psychiatric building until we make our way to the second and final Harley Quinn thug fight. And then I had to restart because I accidentally dodged. Second attempt was the win, and you'll notice after this there is a cut with Batman standing in a slightly different location. That's because this is where I ended the first stream, and before I started the second stream I had to do the whole fight again because the game doesn't save till a point after. So that was fun. And then I was once again stupid and went the wrong way to go to the botanical garden, getting lost and beating up more mentally ill people while I was at it, which was honestly really relaxing. Not actually, that was a joke. I do not actually enjoy beating up mentally ill people. But once again, I take out the first guy with the remote control batarang, and the second one I go for a good old fashioned beat them unconscious. This Predator section I had to restart, not because I was seen, but because Batman was a little too excited to see this wall and ran a tiny bit. Attempt 2, I sneak behind this thug and go straight to turning off the power, and then also win this fight because Batman's just good like that. I decide to not be rude and actually free the janitor for once, and then continue to sneak past this Predator section. Well, I would, but I accidentally threw a batarang.
I did not mean to do that.
This time I don't be stupid and get past them without being seen, and continue all the way up until the next Predator section. This one being a slight bit more tricky. Not actually, it was a piece of cake. I just used the path I'd usually take, and camp out on this ladder until the right time to take out the thug at the top, and boom, the rest of the Predator section is a cakewalk. However, the fun and games end here, as up next was the one, the only, not only, and not just one, but two Titans. For this fight, I knew I had to use one thing to survive: crouch walk. Let me remind you, this is not against the rules, it's just preferred to not use it unless I deem necessary, and here, well, it's two Titans in a small square room, yeah, I'm gonna need it. But it was also such a strong move that allowed me to complete this in one attempt. And after this fight, I unlocked the holy grail for this challenge, the line launcher. I can finally move at a normal speed, it's amazing. And then accidentally dodge while trying to skip dialogue. I kill all these thugs and continue my way to the upcoming Predator section, which I know is skippable, so I kept trying to do it. But instead of gliding, I used the line launcher, and as you see, the line launcher doesn't work for skipping this Predator section. Not sure why I tried so many times, but I ended up giving up on doing it that way and for some reason refused to just glide, as it felt wrong giving the rules despite not being against the rules. And this Predator section in particular was stupid and extremely long because they kept trying to stand on top of the vent that I was in and not letting me free and didn't split up or anything, and it was really annoying. And then I just didn't care and continued to prove how unaware the thugs are in this game.
You're next.
One really long walk to the next Predator section and I was stupid and jumped right in front of the armed thug. Not feeling like doing another Predator section, I decided to just skip and go straight for the terminal, allowing me instant access. Oh, and Batman's back in a wheelchair. Why did they break his legs again? Are they criminals? Oh, and we are actually back in a wheelchair. Interesting. Why did Scarecrow break his legs again? Anyways, this took me way too many attempts to actually easily pull off. I kept dying at different points, but for the moving wall you usually have to run behind the hide. A well-timed crouch walk gets you there easily without risking being seen. So we flashed Scarecrow one last time. Wait, nope, now we're falling. And dead.
Oh, come on.
But after those battles, we actually flashed Scarecrow, overcoming this last dose of toxin for this run. And now that we're trying to stop Scarecrow, I decided to try something stupid and restart. That being, well, this.
No, he disappeared!
And then the fight and stuff is super easy, and we finally make our way to the one, the only, Killer Croc section. Not gonna lie, I completely forgot about this part when choosing to do this challenge, so it really did make me nervous thinking I was going to fail because of it. I'll skip through all the unnecessary bits. Getting to all the plant spores was a cakewalk other than a death here and there from being stupid, but I was able to do all that while walking, like you're supposed to, and I also used the line launcher to speed it up, but when it came to the killer croc chase, I first tried to use the line launcher, hence why I just stood there and died, and again. From this point I tried crouch walking, as you can actually move some distance, but this fence was the one thing stopping me from succeeding, from progressing, from winning. I'm going to play every single death it took me across over 40 minutes of trying. Yes, I was here for this one section for longer than the whole Killer Croc section itself. I tried everything, hugging the wall to not waste any distance traveled, cutting corners. I even tried dodging, which, as you know, is against the rules, in an attempt to cover a bit more ground before reaching the fence. But as you can see, it didn't work, and chat being as helpful as ever, telling me to just give up and run as it is impossible. Thanks chat, that's very reassuring. But after about 50-ish deaths, I cleared the fence. Holy crap, I actually did it. Now we can continue, and there's a second fence. And then I was back to dying at the first fence. But this one moment proved to me that it is indeed possible to do as Killer Croc says, not outrun him. As we aren't running. After another 9 deaths,
The bones. He doesn't say that, so therefore that's not what he meant. That was... Okay, I got it a second time. Not a second time, but finally after how long?
Ah!
Select the gel. I was spamming the D-pad, you probably couldn't hear it.
I did it. I got past the one section of the game you'd think running is required without running.
Oh, these are pretty cool. I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, I got too focused on the fact that I even made it here that I forgot which button to press. So I had to do another 3 attempts to do it again. If there's any sliver of hope for these challenges, it's hard for me to give up like chat wants me
Okay,
to.
let's do it again. I'm not gonna run from you, Killer Croc. Why would I do that?
Got the relaxing music, we got this.
Oh, we got it. We're good. Let me press the right button this time. Okay. Not just dropping in. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I just finally beat Killer Croc. The chase section without having to run.
I know it's not the end of the challenge, but if you made it this far, a like and sub would be greatly appreciated. It takes a while to do these challenges and make these videos, so any support is greatly appreciated. After this, I fight my way through the rest of the sewers and finally reach and unlock the best gadget in the game, the Ultra Bat Claw. Just to speed things up since the most important part of the challenge is over, I very slowly make my way through the rest of the sewers and all the way up until the final Predator section. This took 2 attempts because I'm stupid. I was able to easily take them out with some grapple tugs and ground takedowns, disable the pump, and walk my way back to turn off the other pumps from a safe distance atop the ledge before having to take out the second before last Titan fight. This one taking 4 attempts, one of which I died after taking out the Titan, which wasn't frustrating in any way whatsoever. And after this I line launched most of the way back to the botanical garden, taking out a few plants and thugs before confronting Ivy. Ivy was genuinely a lot more simpler than expected. You're supposed to run away from her vine traps, as well as usually jump over or counter the guards to not take damage, but a simple crouch walk will usually be enough to make your way out of range of attacks, but as you can see by my health, you'll still get hit plenty. On our way to the final battle, we get jumped by a few lunatics and also dance shortly with the thugs before confronting what is usually the hardest Titan fight in the whole game. However, being the pro gamer I am, I was easily able to take out both Titans around the same time and do it without having to use any health upgrades mid-fight, easily taking them out. Not sure why Bane was so annoying now that I'm looking back.
One more. Oh, that's it. Whew.
I'm not going to bother wasting more of your time, this fight was super easy. Nothing to note, just crouch walk when you need to dodge the Joker and that's really it. So, can you beat Batman Arkham Asylum without running, countering, and dodging? Yes, yes you can. Subscribe if you haven't, have a good day, and a good night.